I'd like to ask a favor of the technicians, if it's possible, if they could put my headshot back on the screen. I really, I'd like to have my speeches about that. Could we, is that possible still? That's okay. I just want you saw it, right? Unsmiling face. I put on 15 pounds in the fall term of my freshman year. And that picture, it's okay to laugh, those that saw the picture. It's all right. That picture's been following me around for 55 years. In the state news, campus tabloid, hometown newspaper, the internet, and now at the Breslin Arena. And what that picture is it's of the poster boy for Ma Brody's Kitchen. That's what that is. And I can tell you how that happens. Some of you may remember this, those of you who've gone here. You get to campus, and everything is new and different, and it's exciting. And it's magical, and the possibilities are endless, but it's also a little crazy. I mean, every day you are meeting people who are a lot smarter than you are, and it is painfully obvious. For me, I was meeting baseball players who were upperclassmen, bigger, stronger, better than I was. And it throws you off a little bit. And so you fall back, and your thinking goes a little bit retro. And what it comes up with is, well, I can use a knife and fork. I know how to get into the lunch line and take a tray and slide it down the little rail there and point to my food, and the person behind the glass is kind enough to give it to you. And I know how to work the milk machine. I can draw chocolate milk as good as a bartender can draw it. And then after about 4 or 5 months of this, they corner you someplace like the turf arena. And they set up a little photography studio, and some sophomore photographer says, "We're going to take your picture now." And so they chronicle that portion of your life and use it for the rest of your life. The lesson is this: whenever someone points a camera at you, smile, because you never know where the picture is going to end up. This is a high honor for me to be up here with so many great athletes as we have tonight, and high-achieving people. Not just this class of inductees, but also those that have come before us and those that will come after us. They say that this team is forever, and that's a good feeling. But just to keep it in perspective and not get too far carried away, there is a higher Hall of Fame than this one, and it occurs in heaven. And we're all eligible for that one, but not all of us are going to make it. And I think that deserves some careful thinking. But until that happens, down here to a Spartan, this is the best that we have. I'm very honored to be in it. And to put it back into perspective, they say this Hall of Fame is forever, which means that when I am long gone, that picture is still going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's not often when you get a chance to speak to this many people at one time who are more or less compelled to listen to you. So I want to tell a little story. In kindergarten, I had a good friend named Bob Allwart. Bob had a famous father Bob Sr. was a great swimmer at Michigan State in 1940. His relay team set an NCAA record, which was an American record and a world record at the time. Later, the man served in World War II, naturally the Navy. In Grand Rapids, where I grew up, Bob Allward Sr. was known far and wide as the Sea Dog. Swimming, water, record setting, the Navy, the Sea Dog. He looked like Bobby Lane, the Detroit Lions quarterback in the mid-50s. Like Bobby Lane, the Sea Dog lived hard. With some other he was a tough guy, as they were in the 50s and 60s. Real tough guy, but he had a soft heart. With some other fathers, the Sea Dog coached our Rocket football team when I was 11 years old. You make a mistake, the Sea Dog would put his arm around you, give you a few words, then wink and nod like it was just you and him, and then take a deep drag off his cigarette. He made Rocket football feel like playing for the Detroit Lions. Later, we started playing poker for nickels and dimes with the Sea Dog. He had all the Navy lingo. It was like playing poker in the Navy. He could have cleaned us out any time he wanted to, but he just managed to break even. So by now, you could say that the Sea Dog had stopped swimming through water and was now walking on it. About the time I left MSU in the early 70s, the Sea Dog sailed off for good with cirrhosis of the liver. Fast forward. I loved playing baseball at Michigan State. I liked everything about it, the bus rides, eating at restaurants, seeing the different campuses. We even got meal money. They paid you to eat. It was all big league stuff to me. There were some tense moments, like in any sport, but all I had to do was look down on my uniform and see the block S, or maybe look down the third base coaching box where my coach, Danny Litweiler, would be hollering encouragement. And I had great teammates around me. One of them is here tonight. Dave Leisman is here with his wife, Karen. Dave was the anchor on our pitching staff for the 2 years that I played at Michigan State, about the best that we had. After he left Michigan State, he had a fine pro career. And after that, he became a pastor, so we can say that he made it all the way. And he's here with his wife, Karen. They invited their grandson, Jacob McElroy, and his best friend, Reed Lacrosse. Lacrosse and McElroy, two Spartans already. I liked the cold spring days at Old College Field. Practice or game, it didn't matter. I always thought we had the best field in the Big Ten. The University of Michigan had a good field. Lots of people went to it. But ours had a river behind it filled with salmon, and all theirs had were railroad tracks. Early spring, we might pull in, get this, 40 or 50 people to a game. Late in the spring, the co-eds would come out. For those that don't know, co-ed is a dated, rather condescending term for the female student. Well, anyway, they'd come out and they'd catch your eye. Then you could really show off. You could pretend like they were watching you. You just hope they hadn't seen your headshot in the state news. And I don't want to short sell this tactic of the co-ed's inspiration. See, if you were playing to impress the co-eds, you weren't playing to impress the scouts, which, if you ask any ball players, the kiss of death. So you play hard, and however it turns out, a lot of it is out of your hands. Somehow it worked out for me, just like all the inductees here today. We made the best decision of where to go to college and where to play our sport. The Lord is good. The Lord specializes in making dreams come true. I'd like to thank everyone who had a hand in this, from my coach, Danny Litweiler. Danny Litweiler, who believed in me. And to Alan, who represents the school, and to Kate Sauter, who was so helpful with the details of this, and friendly as she was. Truth be known, she's the one that talked me into coming here tonight. And I want to thank everybody in between, especially those co-eds who braved the early spring weather. For me, I'm just glad that that picture gets into the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.